On an order by the Board of Trustees of the Wesco Independent School District Unlimited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2016, levying a continuing direct annual ad valorem tax for the payment of the bonds, prescribing the form, authorizing the sale thereof, resolving other matters incident and related to the issuance, sale, and delivery of the bonds, including the approval and distribution of an official statement pertaining thereto, authorizing the execution of an escrow agreement, a paying agent registrar agreement, and a purchase contract, and enacting other provisions relating to the purpose of this order. Dr. Leo.
Members of the board, we have been, this has been a process that we've been undergoing for some time now, and I know that you have been receiving information as we go along. I am pleased to report that we are at the point now of asking formal action from this board to officially process this financial venture. With us tonight is Mr. David Mendez, Bond Counsel, Mr. Chris Vela, District Financial Advisor, and Mr. Andres Sanchez, Assistant Superintendent for Finance, who will lead us through a presentation and report on the final numbers.
Dr. Leo, members of the board, this is again the approval of the refunding bonds 2016. They were sold today, this morning. I had a call around 12:30 this afternoon, giving me the information. They wanted a verbal approval, which I gave, and it was pending board approval at the meeting for the sale of the bonds. We got very good information. It's more saving that we had discussed with the board before, and Mr. Vela will give you that information. You have a copy of the presentation there. Let me switch the screen so you can switch to that.
Members of the board, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Vela with First Southwest Company, financial advisors to the district. Like Superintendent Leo said, and Mr. Sanchez, we have had a very successful pricing and translated into additional savings above and beyond what was presented on the financing plan. This slide, as we always show you, is the market slide. You can see the current rate of a 283, the average of a 464, the 20-year max of a 609, and the 20-year minimum of a 280. So all in all, the tax-exempt municipal market interest rates remain under the 20-year historical averages. The GO bond buyer index hit the 20-year low of 280 as of July the 7th. We actually were able to do two ratings, one with Fitch, and these are the key rating drivers: the analytical conclusion, the AA issuer default rating, and unlimited tax bond rating reflect the district's sound financial profile, characterized by high expenditure flexibility, expectations of stable revenue growth, and ample gap closing capacity. Economic resource base, Wesco WISD is located in Hidalgo County. Revenue framework, the property taxes and state aid that support district operations are expected to continue to yield revenue growth above inflation, but below USD, GDP, and factor in expectations for continued by more moderate enrollment growth. Expenditure framework, Fitch expects the natural pace of spending growth to remain in line with or modestly above that of revenues. As both are largely driven by enrollment, low carrying costs reflect state support for retiree benefits, bolstering spending flexibility. Standard & Poor's, their A+ rating reflects our views of the district: low to adequate incomes and low wealth levels, very strong financial position indicated by very strong available reserves, and revenue-raising flexibility. In our view, somewhat limiting factors include the district's limited economic base on agriculture, petroleum, and tourism, moderately high overall debt burden as a percentage of market value with average amortization. We consider the district's management practice standard under our financial management assessment methodology. And of course, it goes on to explain. The stable outlook on the A underlying rating for credit program reflects our opinion that the district's conservative budgeting practice will likely allow management to maintain at least strong reserves. The outlook is also based on our opinion that the district debt level will remain moderately high, as the district will fund its capital projects from available general fund reserves and has no plans to approach the voters for another bond election. The plan of finance that was adopted by the board on August the 8th of the Series 16 refunding bonds was a par amount of refunding not to exceed $20,375,000. Final maturity not to exceed February the 15th of 2038. Estimated all-in true-in cost of $323. Present value savings of $10.65 of the refunded amount, which were equivalent to $2,170,824. The gross savings estimated at $2,552,224, and an average annual of $279,771 from fiscal years 17 to 25, de minimis from 26 to 38. These are the bonds that were actually refunded in maturities from the 16 and the Series 08. Results of the board approval of the refunding bond order on 9/14/2016, closing date August the 11th, refunding type advance, bonds refunded $20,375,000, prior average coupon 4.798, all-in true interest cost 2.970. Now, the all-in includes all the cost of issuance, so that's kind of like refinancing your mortgage with all points, appraisals, surveys, legal fees, etc. Gross savings, 3.286081. Present value savings, 2.836543. Present value savings as a percentage of refunded bonds, 13.922. Average annual savings, $361,428. Negative arbitrage or loss of economic opportunity costs, $476,601. Refunding efficiency, 85.61. Interest rate sensitivity to current call, not applicable. Now, here's this sheet that compares what was presented to the actual results. The par amount that was actually sold today was $19,470,000. The plan of finance called $19,055,000, or a plus of $415,000. Now, that's a function of couponing and premium. So really, it translates into the debt service. The numbers that are below that are the important. The all-in true interest cost is 2.97, as we mentioned. The plan of finance had a 3.23, so we were at a 0.26 below. The gross savings, $3,286,081 versus $2,552,000, or a net gain of $733,857. The average annual gross savings, $361,428 versus $279,771, or a plus of $81,657. Present value savings, $2.836542 versus $2,170,824, a net gain of $665,718. The percentage, present value, 1392 versus 1065, or a plus 327. Now, this is the sheet, the cash flow sheet, that basically tells you the years that you will be having the savings. You can see that for fiscal year ended 17, the amount that the district will less transfer from the general fund to the debt service side will be $177,050. In 18, it will be $179,050. In 19, 414, 414, 416, 413, 413, 412, and 412, and the minimus below that for a total of $3,286,000. Schedule of events: August the 8th completed, August the 16th completed, August the 25th completed, August the 31st completed, September the 14th. Pricing of unlimited tax refunding bond Series 16. Board of Trustees considers and approves issuance of the Series 16 refunding bonds. Delivery or closing on October the 11th, and redemption of the Series 08 based on the escrow on the 18th. And that's the end of our presentation. If there's any questions, if not, I will turn it over to David Mendez, the bond attorney, for a brief discussion on the legal documents.
So the majority of the savings actually is the next 10 years, right?
I'm sorry, sir?
The majority of the savings will occur in the next 10 years,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic job. I mean,
Yes.
Thank you.
$3.2 million savings is fantastic.
Plus the ones we did.
Yeah, exactly. Plus the two prior bond refinances. It's a lot of money that we save doing these things. We appreciate your hard work in trying to get this done quickly, and obviously capitalizing on a low interest rate enables us to provide more over the next 10 years, like Mr. Nieto was saying. That adds $400,000 to the budget essentially for the next 8 out of the next 10 years.
Correct.
So that's exciting.
And instead of that money going to bondholders, it stays in the district.
Exactly. So thank you very much, Mr. Vela.
Thank you, Mr. Vela.
Thank you.
Appreciate you accommodating our schedule as well. I know that we had originally scheduled for Thursday. Thank you for being flexible with that change. Hi, Mr. Mendez.
Good evening, trustees, Doctor. In order to take advantage of the negotiated offer to purchase these bonds from you, you have before you a draft order that accomplishes the sale. The order lays out and delegates to the president of the board and the secretary of the board and the staff of the district the authority to execute all of the various documents that are required for us to undertake the transaction from this point through closing, and sets out the covenants and requirements that the district must meet in order to sell these as tax-exempt bonds. I just want to point out 3 or 4 elements of the order that are key to it. One, the order sets out each of the maturity dates and the interest payment dates and all of the particulars for how we're going to pay the investors that buy the bonds over the course of the maturities. The order sets out and provides for a bank to accomplish those transactions for you, that we'll deposit funds with them on a periodic basis every 6 months to pay interest and principal as we would on any note, if you will. The district covenants that it is going to use the buildings for the public school purposes, which are a tax-exempt purpose, and we set out all of the details and promises that we're making on how we're going to use that, and that's what school districts do throughout the state, so there shouldn't be any issues with respect to that. And then it provides for, in the event that we need to refund some of the bonds, there's a call feature on the bonds after 10 years, and if you are in a position, and I can't imagine interest rates going any lower, but
Right.
if circumstances allowed you to reduce debt further 10 years from now, you are in a position to yet again call these bonds again and effect further savings for the district. So I congratulate you on the good offer, the good negotiated sale. I don't know if there are questions of me. If you all approve this order tonight, what I'll do is I'll take it back to Austin, submit it to the Attorney General. The Attorney General will issue an opinion. I will issue an opinion backing that one up that goes to the tax-exempt nature of the bonds, and then by October 11, we will deliver the bonds to the purchasers.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Mendez?
A pleasure to be with you.
What we're doing here is basically refinancing our debt
Absolutely, exactly.
at a lower interest rate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the savings that are presented to us is approximately something over $3 million over the time.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other costs that we will incur as a district going forward? And what I'm saying, is there any costs to you gentlemen?
The savings is net of any of those, I mean, in other words, that savings is what you reflect after paying for any costs.
Everything.
So it's all
Okay.
in, all of these
And the reason
expenses
I'm bringing this up is I wanted to make it clear to our audience and to our viewers that there is no extra cost, that they're not incurring, how much are we saving, but how much are we gonna pay? So the $3 million is actual dollars that we're gonna save.
That is your savings after all these costs have been taken into consideration.
Good
Yes,
job.
Yeah, it's 3.2.
$3.2 million.
Don't sell it short. It's 3.2.
Yeah.
It's 3.2 million. Added to the other two, we're,
And now, you also made a statement that in 10 years, if the interest rate, which we all doubt, will go down again, we're able to do this again.
Yes, sir. Your financial advisor negotiated a call feature into
Okay.
the bonds. So those bonds that are maturing in 2027 are callable at the anniversary date in 2026, in whole or in part. And so it's the same kind of feature that we're taking advantage of today. When we originally issued the bonds here in Weslaco in 2008, we put a call feature that allowed us to refund them in 2018. And so we are doing what's called an advance refunding. We're not quite at the anniversary date, but we're within touching distance of that. So if we sell them, if you agree to sell these bonds tonight, we will obtain funding that we deposit into an escrow account, and it'll sit there until February of 2018, and then and it's waiting for the cashing out date, if you will, on the old bonds, and they'll be paid off in 2018. And at the moment we deposit those funds of Weslaco ISD in the escrow account, those bonds are deemed to have gone away, and your only debt outstanding is these new bonds that you're issuing tonight. So it's a feature that's available through the state programs, and, that's how it works.
Good. Good
The
news.
average saving per year is 361 per year.
Over the number of years.
Yeah, the amount per year. I know you mentioned 10 years, but the amount per year is 361,000.
If you look at on page 11 of the presentation, Dr. Rivera, you can see the savings in red on column E on a per year basis. Start out with 177,000 for 17, going all the way down to
Okay, so the savings the first year, it's not 361, it's 177?
Yes, sir. Those
Okay,
are
so
the
that-
actual savings. The
Okay.
average of
So-
those numbers
Okay,
is,
so for 2017, the amount of savings is not the millions you mentioned, it's 177 per year,
once,
or the first year.
For the
Then
first
after that,
year-
it increases.
and the second year, and then after the third year, in
Okay.
19, it increases to
But you have
400,000.
the average here from 2017, 361, so that's kind of a little bit misleading,
Well, if,
the 361.
Those years, only in 2017 to 2025, those 8 years.
Yeah, but for 1 year, though, the amount, the average would be this, but 177.
yes, sir.
Okay, that's my question.
Mr. Vela, this is the third series of bonds, right, that we refinance for this year?
Sir?
This is the third one we do?
It's the second series, that we refinance.
We refunded 2 bonds, 2005, 2006, now 2008.
That's what I'm saying, so this is the third one.
In terms of
In,
series,
in terms of savings overall, with the 3 bonds that we've done the refinancing, where are we at?
I don't recall the exact numbers.
I believe it was 2.5, the previous 2 bonds. That would be
2.5?
5.7 million
Okay.
within the 2 years.
I'll make the motion to approve the order as presented with...
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve as recommended by administration by Dr. Rivera and a second by Andrew Gonzalez. Any further comments or discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Vela, Mr. Mendez.
Good job.
Good job to all of you.
Now, Andres, this money, what are we able to do with it? Where are we able to place it? Where are we able to use it?
Construction.
Well, really, right now, I'm looking at
Column E,
curriculum.
the red numbers that are there show those are the dates when we have more payments on the other bonds that we have right now.
Uh-huh.
So we have the largest amount, we put in the largest credit to help us. When the amount go lower, we have less amount.
So,
Right.
that'll be another
And we'll be
discussion.
transferring
Just-
less money from the general fund to the debt service, so we can put more to construction like we're doing this year.
Okay, if y'all can put in an update, what are we able to do?
Yeah.
With that money to, moving forward?
One other
Sounds-
thing, if we may, good point, Dr. Rivera. I think what we can do is we can summarize for the board the previous transactions that had been taking place and these transactions and put them all together.
Consolidate it.
We'll
yeah.
send that over to Andres.
Good.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And if you could break it down by year, by series,
We will.
and then a grand total, so we know what actually we're going to experience for the next 10 years, I think that'll make a significant, that'll provide some clarity as to what we're going to have extra in our budget for the next few years. Thank you. Any other further comments or questions? If not, we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thank you again, gentlemen, for everything. We appreciate it. Item 4, closed meeting to discuss, number 1, conduct level 3 grievance hearing requested by R. Aldape And item 2, confer with legal counsel regarding superintendent search and review applications, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074. My understanding is that we will handle each one individually and then come back into open session and deal with them one by one. So with that being said, at this moment, we will be conducting the Level 3 grievance hearing requested by R. Aldape. I'm not sure who's going to take this over.
But it's going to be an
Well,
executive
you're going to
session.
conduct the grievance
Close.
in the boardroom, so
Right.
those not,
So at this,
Involved in the grievance.
at this point in time, do we have a script for before?
It's going to be here, so everybody.
Yeah, so this is going to be an executive session. I'm not sure if it was requested to be an open or closed.
there was no request for open.
So since we're going to be in a closed session, we're going to ask that anybody that's not directly involved or participating in the grievance itself, this is a closed session, so we're going to have to ask you to please remove yourself from our boardroom. 7:30 PM, and the board will reconvene in open session. At this time, I will entertain a motion with regard to the Level 3 grievance of Ramiro Aldape.
I move to approve the agreement between Mr. Aldape and the district as discussed in closed session and authorize council to finalize all the documentation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Nieto and a second by Andrew Gonzalez. Is there any further discussion?
Just to be clear, both sides agreed to the motion,
Yes, sir.
correct?
That's my understanding.
Yeah, there's been an agreement that has been reached, subject to board approval, with Mr. Aldape related to the grievance.
Any further comments or discussion? If not, all those in favor, please vote so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. And best of luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Dania, you lost some weight, haven't you? Yeah. Good.
Is that on the record or off the
Off
record?
the record.
Next, we will, item number 4, close meeting to discuss number 2, confer with legal counsel regarding superintendent search and review applications in compliance with Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074. It is now 7:32, and we will reconvene in executive session.
Hello? Is anybody out
It's
there?
now 8:55, and we will reconvene in open session. Item number 2 in closed meeting was to confer with legal counsel regarding superintendent search and review applications. This is a non-action item. So we will move on to item 6, adjournment. I will now entertain a motion. It is 8:55, and this meeting is adjourned.